Welcome back. It is Sunday, February 25th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. It's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's recap how we did yesterday. A 1-1 day, losing a little bit of juice. Let's talk about our winner and our loser. We had Jalen Brunson's over in points. For some reason, people wanted to fade him yesterday. I told you it was a system play. Always play Jalen Brunson off a bad game, and he did. He dominated. I mean, he carried the Knicks. The Knicks lost by 15 points, but he carried them. And then our one loser was Jaden Ivey over in points. I don't hate the Ivey play. He shot 14 times. The problem was he shot 3 for 14. Not much we can do there. I wish that we would have just rolled with Logan's spread pick of the day, which was Pistons plus 6.5. He didn't really love it a ton. Either way, a 1-1 day. We're on a 16-5 run. We can't complain about that. Let's move on to today. We got 3 picks. Logan is returning, and if you are new, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. We're trying to hit 200K subscribers. We do these videos every single day. It is late in New Zealand, but I'm still cranking out the content for you. And we're going to have daily videos once the MLB season rolls around, which is in almost a month. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. But without further ado, I'm diving into the picks, not wasting any more of your time. The first one is a guy that a lot of people really don't like betting on this year, but we're going to take a stab at him tonight. And it's going to be, actually, not really tonight. You'll understand why. It's Damian Lillard. I really like his over 30.5 points plus assists, minus 106 on FanDuel is the current value. I take it at 31.5. If you're like, Austin, I can't take points plus assist line, just take his regular over in points. More often than not, Dame is going to hit his over in points, which is about 23.5. Then he will the points plus assists. However, he has had a couple games like last game when he had 21 points, but had 11 assists, which obviously did cash the PA, did not cash the points. Now, let's talk with Dame. And like I said, this is not a night game because he's starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So really early start here for Dame. And honestly, this is my best bet of the day. Not going to sugarcoat it. I really like this one. If it were not a Sunday, this is probably a 1.5, 2 unit play for us. But something weird about Sundays, I just don't love the Sunday slate. And even though there's a ton of games on today, you see we only have 3 picks because Sundays are just wacky. It is not just the NBA. It's always that in the MLB. It's just guys just sometimes don't show up on Sundays. Let's hope Dame is not one of those guys. Now, you look at Dame and the Bucks. They are on the road taking on the Sixers. The Sixers obviously down some guys, Joel Embiid most notably. But we look at the Sixers lineup that they're probably trotting out there. It's got Tobias Harris at the 4, probably Paul Reed at the 5, Mo Bamba coming off the bench. What I have to say about this, they have no defender that can slow down Giannis. Like, if they want to go one-on-one on Giannis and just let him do his thing, they will get cooked alive. He will drop 50 points on them. I don't see that being the case here. I think this is a game where Nick Nurse, we know from his days with the Raptors and sometimes this year, when you face a guy like Giannis or face a really, really good, guard, you're kind of doubling him. And I would not be surprised if they double him tonight and Giannis just sees a ton of bodies thrown at his way. Because if they just let him go downhill, it's a GG. He's just going to cook them. And it's just going to be, Tobias Harris will have to go to the hospital by the end of the game, and it'll be bad. So I really do think Dame's going to get his opportunities here. And it's also worth noting, Giannis is probable for this game. There's always a chance he does not play, but I'm expecting him to play. We've seen in Lillard's last 12 games, without Chris Middleton. I didn't even know Chris Middleton is out for this game. He did not return to practice. Is out at least their next two games. Lillard is over this line at 9 of his last 12 without Chris Middleton out there. He's averaged about 31.6 points plus assists. Most of the games he's getting 34, 35, clearing it pretty easily. He has, though, ended on 31 on the dot in the last 2 games. The first one pre-All-Star break, the second one post-All-Star break. He sucked in those games. He got 7 for 21 and 8 for 23. Look, if you're telling me Damian Lillard shoots 21 and 23 times tonight, or 23 times tonight, like I said, I'd probably put 5 units on it because him shooting that number, you're probably going to have a good chance of going over. And he's gone over on the hook just twice, both the last 2 games. It's just about time that he starts to make some shots. And last game against the T-Wolves, he missed a lot of easy shots. He was missing some layups in there. And obviously, the last game before the All-Star break and the first game post-All-Star break, you're going to see some high variance there where you're seeing guys either one, be tired of playing basketball and just want to get to a little bit of a break. Number 2, having a couple of days off basketball, coming back and maybe being a little bit rusty. But I think this is a spot where we're going to see Dame have to be aggressive, and I think this game's close against the Sixers. They're a pretty good home team, even without Embiid. And look at the starting lineup. No Chris Middleton. Who's out there? Jay Crowder, Malik Beasley, Brook Lopez. 3 guys that really do not make their own shots. So Giannis and Dame are going to have to facilitate the offense a ton for them, and they're going to be throwing a lot of passes to those guys, which is why I'm on the points plus assists for Dame. We saw in his only game versus Philly this year is October 26th, the first game of the year. People were like, oh, after this one, they're like, dang, Dame and Giannis might be legit. 36 points or 39 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He soared over the line, didn't even need the assists, and he's now over this line in 8 straight games versus Philadelphia. Obviously, a lot has changed since October 26th, 2023. They've gone through a head coaching change, lineups changing, and stuff like that. We all know how talented Damian Lillard is. There's a chance we don't even need any assists tonight because, well, not tonight, early afternoon, because I really do think Lillard's going to come out and dominate. So I really like his matchup tonight. I know Dame is a guy that a lot of you guys just don't like, but I really think this is a good spot here. I wouldn't be betting it if it was like 33.5, but give me 30.5, a 23.5 points line. He had 17 potential assists last game. I just think this is a time for Giannis and Dame to show up as the rest of the season, the next 25 games come along. These two guys got to start getting into rhythm, and I just think this is a good spot to back Dame. So give me his over. We just saw Brunson have 33 points plus assists, and he shot like 30% against this Sixers team. And then Garland at 29 PAs. He only shot 13 times. Dame should get a lot more usage than that. I really like him tonight. Give me his over in points plus assists. And if you're watching this video after that game's already tipped off, you can probably just segue to the next pick, which is going to be Logan's pick of the day. Take it away, Logan. You've been dialed in. You're not betting the Raptors today. What do you got for the kids?
So for my spread pick today, I'm rolling with the Indiana Pacers on the money line, plus 105 odds on BetMGM, currently your best value there. Now, also other books do have this game priced at a pick 'em at minus 110 odds on each side. I would feel comfortable playing that, but if I can get plus value for the underdog home Pacers in this one, I'm going to go ahead and roll with them. I'm riding with the Pacers to get the outright win at home in this earlier than normal afternoon game. If you're looking at the slate, hopefully you get your bets placed because this is a 5 p.m. Eastern time tip-off, not the normal 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. And this is also the first road game since February 9th for the Dallas Mavericks and the start of their 4-game road trip. I mention spots all the time with these teams in the NBA. This is an interesting spot, the start of a road trip for the Dallas Mavericks. How do they play in this one? I'm not really sure. Luka's a game-time decision. I imagine he does play in this one. If not, I like the value we got because I imagine this line does shift in our favor if Luka Doncic does get ruled out. But I imagine he does play. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't. But let's talk about backing the Pacers. So they're a good team playing at home in this spot, and this is where we want to back them. They're 18-11 straight up at home this season. A really good home team. And at home, the Pacers offense, good as well. First in the NBA in field goal percentage, first in three-point percentage. Hopefully, they could shoot the lights out if they want at home. I hope that's the type of effort we get today. Dallas's defense, too, 20th in field goal percentage allowed and 21st in three-pointers attempted. If the volume of threes are there for Indiana, all we can do is hope they fall. Dallas is surrendering the attempts. Can the shots fall for Indiana? Obviously, playing at home, you like our chances a little bit better. I think Dallas's defense definitely has some holes in it. Indiana can hopefully exploit that. You look at the total to this game, set sky high, 251. I mean, they don't set that if they don't think it's going to at least hover around that. I think we see a ton of offense on both sides. And speaking of offense, the Pacers defense is just not been all that consistent this year. But I can still see them giving enough defensive effort to go blow for blow with the Mavericks and at least give us a chance to win this bet. Second chance points is something I want to talk about too, because they could come in Indiana's favor. Dallas is 28th in defensive rebounding on the road. If they're giving up some defensive rebounds and they're giving up, some second chance points to Indiana, I think we stand a good chance there. I think we'll be able to steal a few possessions that way. And we know guys like Tyrese Halliburton, all-star, amazing player this season. He's great at distributing the ball and getting his teammates involved, and he's playing across from a guy who does it just as well as him in Luka Doncic. I think Halliburton will take on that challenge. I mean, a guy like Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks coming into your home arena, you better rise to the occasion. You better be able to get up for this one. And I love teams that I just think are going to rise to the moment. I think the Indiana Pacers do rise to the moment. Let's talk about their offense, too. They're first in assists at home this season. Big reason is Tyrese Halliburton for that. And their defense, interesting enough, is 6th in assists allowed. So 6th best in assists allowed, meaning they could limit Dallas in some sort of way. Look, I'm not saying they got to go shut down everybody, but just limit some of the ball movement Dallas is getting. Force them into tough shots, maybe even some free throws, because I know Dallas is on the road. They're not as good as a free throw shooting team as they are at home. We obviously, given the over/under being 251, can they at least present some sort of roadblock to Dallas? I do think so. I think they can play enough defense. I'm not asking them to go be like the bad boy Pistons, but enough defense for the Pacers today. I think that gives us a chance. Last point of note, let's talk about trends. They're always interesting to look at. Indiana 5-2 as a favorite in their last 10 games and 0-3 as an underdog in their last 10 games. So normally the underdog role, if they're getting a lot of points, that's typically not where you want to be for Indiana. But like I mentioned, this is a pick 'em on a lot of books. Even some books have Indiana as slight favorites. So you got to look at this one. You got to look at how the odds makers are pricing this one. I still think they price this one accordingly, given how Dallas has been, how hot they've been recently. 8-2 straight up in their last 10. You look at Dallas; they're entering this game red hot. I think what the odds are saying in this one is, one, Indiana's going to not just roll over at home. They're going to rise to the occasion. And two, I think this could be a bad spot for Dallas. First game on the road in a hot minute. I think they could come out flat. They could also just mail it in. This is a spot we've seen so many times in the NBA. Austin and I like to joke all the time. You see a 1-point spread, you're like, oh, this should be a back and forth game. It's a 20-point blowout all the time out of nowhere. Could the Indiana Pacers do that? I sure hope so. I think they do get it done for us today. I think they win on the money line, and I'll go ahead and take the plus value. We're getting there.
Hey, a spicy little plus 100 from Logan. Hey, let's see if he can deliver another winner on Sunday. Really like the pick, and obviously if Luka gets ruled out, really like it even more. But my final pick of the day, and our final pick of the day, and then I will talk about some leans that I did consider. Like I said, I only have 3 picks today. One of them Logan's. I don't want to force a ton, but I will talk about some other things that caught my eye, but I'm just not going to force. Last pick of the day, Jamal Murray, over 20.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. Now, I would take this at 21.5. There is a chance that when it's all said and done, we only have 2 picks today, as Jamal Murray is questionable for this game against the Warriors, but I think he plays. I mean, it is just a guess. I have no idea. I have not Mike Malone. I don't determine if Jamal Murray is playing or not. But I just feel like he didn't play last game because it was a back-to-back post-All-Star break. Like, we'll ease the pedals a little bit. But I just think he's going to be full steam ahead here. No minutes restriction, and he should play his normal minutes, get 31 to 36 minutes, and hopefully he does his thing. Now, Murray has been very up and down, just like Damian Lillard this season. Murray averaging 20.4 points per game over this line in exactly 50% of games this year when he's played 25 or more minutes. He did have a stretch earlier this year where he did not play 25 minutes because he was on a minutes restriction. He's also had a couple games get injured in. Look, if he gets injured in, there's absolutely nothing we can do there. But assuming he plays tonight, he will play 25 or more minutes, and if he doesn't, something random happened. But I really think he's going to be off a minutes restriction, and he should be doing his thing. And this is a really good matchup for him that he's dominated. His last 4 games versus Golden State, he scored 33, 26, 28, 25 points. Biggest thing, shooting the ball a ton, 23, 21, 18, and 16 field goal attempts. Numbers technically going down. Last game, the 16 field goal attempts, he did have about 9 free throw attempts, so he was still attempting 20 or more shots. Just got fouled on a couple of them. I just think this is a spot we can back Jamal Murray. I really do. I think this is a good spot for him. Nuggets role players not really showing up on the road as much. Michael Porter Jr. coming off a really good game, I believe, and the Warriors are going to try their best to slow down Nikola Jokic. They'll throw as many things as they can at him, but they're never going to double Jamal Murray, and he's never going to see a lot of help on screen and rolls with Jokic. So I think Jamal Murray, like he's done in this matchup before, gets to his spots, and hopefully he knocks down those shots. That's my third and final pick of the day. Not going to go too far in depth to it. I really like it. Some leans that I will talk about right now that are not tracked. I have a couple unders that I did look at. Kevin Durant under in points. Fred VanVleet under in points. And John Collins under in points. A couple leans I liked for the over. Kind of going with Kevin Durant's under. I really like Devin Booker. I was going to take his over, but they moved it up to 29.5. Can't take that. It's a little too high for me. De'Aaron Fox like his over in points. I also like Malik Beasley over in points. I just only wanted to pick one buck, but I think Malik Beasley has a good game. The Sixers have been giving up a lot of catch and shoot threes, which is also why I'm on Damian Lillard together. Obviously attempts a lot of catch and shoot threes too. But those are my 3 favorite picks of the day. We got Pacers money line courtesy of Logan. Then we're rolling with Jamal Murray, and of course, the guy at the beginning of the video, my best bet of the day, Damian Lillard. Those are my favorite picks of the day. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys back in the next one on Monday, and hopefully with the brooms out in that video. I'll see you then. Peace.